This is Rebecca Petty Moffitt, and you're listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast.
On this week's episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast, Chick-Fil-A does mac and cheese. We do some Dear Mojo, and Rebecca Petty Moffitt, the daughter of Richard Petty, is our guest this week. All that and more on the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast, where it's two guys' take on life, liberty, and the pursuit of gravy, and you, the listener, are getting a degree in common sense. We are broadcasting from the Busted Knuckles studio right here in beautiful downtown historic Concord, North Carolina. I'm your host, Biggin, and how about you? We've got a great show lined up for you, as always, but before we begin, let me introduce you to the second half of this flaky biscuit. That's right, I am talking about the pride of Anderson, South Carolina, but most of you probably know him best as the Silver Tongue won 2016's Honorable Mention Father of the Year, the inventor of the redneck egg roll. Give it up on old mic number one, it's Mojo!
What up, gang? Appreciate you tuning back in to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. You can reach us at iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. Wherever you get your iPad, or wherever you get your
iPads, your iTunes, whatever, all your eyes.
Man,
get them right there.
Wherever you get your podcast episodes from, please go to that aggregate. Give us a subscribe, a like, a share, a view, any of those. We'd be extremely grateful for those. That helps us move up, gets recognized by the old algorithm machine that kind of boosts us to the top. But we appreciate each and every one of you and all our new listeners from all over the globe. We kind of get some international listeners, which is awesome as always.
How about you?
Anyway, please go to our Facebook page at Southern Fried Philosophy. Just hit that old thumbs up, like.
Yippee!
That way we know you're there. Also go to our SFP Radio on the Instagram and the old Twitters. And I pretty much hate Twitter. I think I've stopped.
Are you done with it?
I think I'm done.
You hate it?
But I know we post our episodes there.
Every once in a while.
But also, anywhere else you can find us, we appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in, as always.
Yes, I want to say a shout-out to Clemens, North Carolina. Thank you for tuning in. Also, Elkhorn City, Kentucky. Hey, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. All right, I'm going to ask you like I ask you every week. Mojo, how you be doing?
I'm awesome. It's fall time. We don't have to worry about the skeeters and the humidity being near 130% every day.
You're right. You're right. This is the time of year where if you like sports, hey, buddy, you're on it.
Yeah, you got the crisp air, you got the leaves changing color, and you also have college basketball and football.
College football, basketball. We're going to be wrapping up baseball here in a little bit. What's your take on the World Series? How are you tuning in to any of that?
I'm kind of sad.
Oh boy,
that Houston really isn't,
not doing it for you.
Not doing it again this year, just because, man, Sheila Jackson Lee from the representative of the Houston area, man, gave some great sound bites last year after Houston won the World Series. Man,
I did not know this. There were great sound bites.
Gosh.
Where was I on that one?
She called it the World Series and the Southern Boys. I mean, she was just great when she gave a lot of great sound bites. I guarantee you, Sheila Jackson Lee doesn't know how many number of outs there are in an inning, how many innings are in a game, and the difference between a ball strike and a foul ball.
How about it?
But she's a long-time fan. Long-time fan.
Long-term fan? What do you, have a disease?
Man, but the World Series.
The World Series.
World Series champion. So that's serious.
Yeah.
And she was very pacific about it. So that kind of disappoints me about that.
Are you a baseball fan? Do you dial into that at any point?
It depends. Mm-hmm. At first of the season, I always try to check and see how my Braves did.
Okay.
My Braves had actually a really good year this year,
mm-hmm.
which is a good thing because we pretty much have been the Cleveland Browns of baseball for the past
right.
10, 13 years.
Ever since you let Chipper go.
Before that, Chipper was still good,
right?
But we let everybody else go.
Yeah.
We just gave everybody away. Typical Braves fashion.
Sure.
So I tune in, usually by 5 games, you can tell Atlanta's already out. So then you kind of tune in. You kind of tune in and out. I like the early spring games.
Okay.
Just because you get to see a little bit dynamic. Like, for example, when Chicago plays in Pittsburgh or Pittsburgh plays in Chicago, there's no vines on the wall. It's cold. So you got that aspect. And it's just a little different. Now, when it gets hotter than Hades outside. And, I don't enjoy watching live games, but also the TV. It's just not the same pizzazz.
Yeah.
Because you got 80 games left, and anything can happen in 80 games. But,
how many games is a seson?
I think 160,
Good gosh,
165. I can't remember exactly. But I do love the fall. That crisp air.
Sure.
You're getting towards that playoff run. You already kind of know your four teams battling out in each division. So I do kind of dig that. And then I love the playoffs, and I love the World Series.
I have no room in my life for anything right now except work and then Kentucky sports. So anything else, I can't give you anymore.
All you got to do is throw it on and watch it while you do your work.
That is true. I could watch a bazillion baseball games at this point, or at least have them on.
Yeah.
I could do that. All right, so let's go into our wacky news.
Ooh, baby, it's making me crazy. It's making me crazy. Every time I look around, every time I look around, it's in my face.
We talked about the old Chick-Fil-A last week. Chick-Fil-A is now serving, get this, mac and cheese in 6 cities. The chicken sandwich chain is currently testing mac and cheese at some of its restaurants, considering to make it open to more markets out there. Currently, right now, it is in Baltimore, Maryland, Houston, San Antonio, Texas, Phoenix, Arizona, and Greensboro, North Carolina.
I want you to listen up, Chick-fil-A. How can you not test something in Atlanta, Georgia? That's where you started.
Mac and cheese in out of all of these cities.
Why, Greensboro I can get.
But
the other 5, Baltimore?
Phoenix?
Yeah, how in the HE double hockey stick did you come up with Baltimore and Phoenix?
I am convinced they just threw darts at a wall and just, there we go.
There's nothing good in Phoenix. The basketball team sucks.
Mm-hmm. The baseball team sucks.
The football team sucks. Everything sucks in Arizona. Well, I shouldn't say everything sucks. But
yeah.
You have the southern states who have built your brand.
Right.
Keep it in the southern state. Guess what? If the southern states want macaroni, guess what? Arizona and Maryland, you're going to eat it.
Eat it, Maryland.
We're not
They're technically eating our mac and cheese.
I will not eat macaroni from Chick-fil-A just because Maryland probably had a vote in it.
Y'all.
Nothing good out of that. Where's my coleslaw? Where's my coleslaw at?
Yeah.
Where's my carrot salad at? I want my carrot salad
I
back.
do like their carrot salad.
Well, it's extinct, just like Jurassic Park.
You can't get it no more?
Where have you been?
Dude, the last time I had
it's like a velociraptor. It's gone millions of years ago.
I did like it. I didn't know it was gone, though.
Oh, yeah. They eliminated that, the cheesecake, the lemon pie cake. They eliminated all that.
Y'all.
I brought kale salad in.
That
Now, the kale salad's actually pretty
it
good.
It ain't bad. It's pretty good.
But, dude, we're in the South. Coleslaw.
Mac and cheese in Baltimore and Phoenix and San Antonio.
San Antonio, I can kind of loop into the South. But Arizona's pushing it.
Baltimore. That's not even close.
The only thing Baltimore known for is crabs and crime.
Can I ask Chick-fil-A? Hey, Chick-fil-A, right here. I need you to pay attention. I need you to stop trying to do your mac and cheese and trying to be all cutesy and artsy fartsy. And I need you to do something about your biscuit. That is the nastiest biscuit that you can get. That thing's gross.
They rank actually. The rest of the food, impeccable.
Yeah.
The biscuit ranks up there with Waffle House's biscuit.
It's noted how much we love Chick-fil-A. Mm-hmm. But, y'all, your biscuit is horrible. Horrible.
Yeah.
It is the driest thing.
It is the McDonald's cheeseburger of biscuits.
Ooh, that's really good. That's really good right there.
Not really good. It's just really good.
Yeah, it's a good analogy because in a pinch, you'll eat it, but you're not happy about it.
Yeah. You regret it.
And as soon as you take that first bite, you're like, well, this is not going to turn out well. Mm-hmm. I mean, it crumbles when you take your bite. It don't hold together.
No.
Falls apart.
You're not finishing a chicken biscuit with the bottom half of the biscuit.
Oh, no. Now, here's rumors that I've heard that they use water instead of milk in the mix of the biscuit.
Well, here's one rumor is they don't use 80-year-old grandmas like Hardee's and Bojangles does. You see arthritic hands who have calluses and wrinkles making biscuits at Bojangles and Hardee's, but you don't see that at Chick-fil-A.
No, you don't. You need knuckle hair in your biscuits.
You need a Neanderthal making biscuits back there for you.
But you're the chef. Like, why does that thing fall apart? Like,
I can taste baking powder in it.
Mm-hmm.
It helps make it rise. The self-rising flour.
Okay.
So it's got to be something chemical reaction reagent. It's not bonding correctly, because I've had Chick-fil-A biscuits from all the way from Baltimore, Maryland, all the way down to Florida. And those biscuits just suck.
Yeah.
I've never had one. I mean, I take it back. I've had one in one location, Anderson, South Carolina, my hometown, where they did the biscuits right. I'm not sure if they broke off and did their own thing. I don't know if they went and like double paid the Hardee's biscuit lady to come work there, but they were good.
Chick-fil-A on their website said that it's an iconic Southern biscuit. I'm going to call BS on that.
Canned biscuits are more iconic than Chick-fil-A biscuits. I mean,
Cut the crap.
Ooh, that's what I'm going to say to that.
Yeah, but I just don't see that.
I mean, it's nasty.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Now, how about this? You put the Chick-fil-A filet, chicken filet, which is the most perfect Chick-fil-A there is, or chicken filet. You put that on a Hardee's biscuit.
Son.
Now you're on to it.
Did you know Chick-fil-A offers sausage gravy?
Have you had their
Yes.
sausage biscuit?
I've had their sausage. I've had their biscuits and gravy. Have you had that?
No.
Save you money.
Yeah.
Not that great.
Well, here's the thing. Here's how I knew that I wasn't going to even try that, is because their sausage is awful as well.
Yeah, they don't cook it.
It doesn't feel cooked. It's just mush.
Well, they don't cook it like on a flat top grill. You know,
Is that what it is?
Yeah, because you don't get that crisping. It's got to be cooked on. It's got to be cooked on some type of cast iron surface, and they don't. I don't think they do that. I think they used a type of griddle, because you see kind of like grill marks they use for chicken. It's not the same Chick-fil-A.
No,
It's not the same.
Yeah. I love you, but I need you to do better.
Well, I love my wife, but she doesn't vacuum or clean the house well. I'm not going to throw her out. I'm still going to see her 365.
Right.
But she don't do so well in those areas.
I'm just saying Chick-fil-A. I need you to step up your game.
And that's not my analogy, honey. That's Biggins.
Yeah, sure. Don't throw me under the bus. I'm just saying, stop doing your fancy mac and cheese and just do the biscuits right.
Right.
Go back to your home. Are you too good for your home, Chick-fil-A? Get where you need to be and do a decent biscuit.
And stay out of Phoenix.
For the love.
I mean, be there just in case I got to travel there, but don't get your test results.
Do you think you're going to try, when you go up to Baltimore, you're going to try some of this mac and cheese?
It'll probably fail by the time I get up there.
You're probably right.
I'm hoping so.
Here's the thing. Like, how good can mac and cheese be from a Chick-fil-A? I'm not putting a whole lot of hope in it anyway.
I know the equipment they have in their facility. They're not going to be making it from scratch.
No.
It's going to be a frozen product.
No. Yep.
So how good can it be?
That's my question.
And I don't think Truett S. Cathy, the founder and creator of Chick-fil-A, would be too happy about that. I mean, unless he wrote some type of dying wish to put macaroni and cheese on the menu, I just don't see it happening.
Well, he didn't want the kale salad on there. We know that. So y'all go back to your roots.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will have some Dear Mojo, and don't forget our special guest, Rebecca Petty Moffitt. All that and more. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. Words cannot describe how awesome Robert and his team at Webmerized are. In our time of need, Robert came through for us and devoted more time than expected to help our organization develop our new website. It truly is a blessing to have an individual that can speak to the average person not in the IT world in a manner that can easily be understood. The process of working with his team was painless, and I look forward to working with them for future projects. Our website is spectacular, and I'm really proud of what was developed by Webmerized. Thanks. Don't take Stella H's word for it, and also Southern Fried Philosophies, but go out to webmerized.com, WEBMERIZED, or check out the sponsors link on our website. And if you mention the word biggin in your order, you'll get 10% off. Check them out at webmerized.com for your web services needs.
Dear Abby, my feet are too long. My hair's falling out and my rights are all wrong. My friends, they all tell me that I've no friends at all. Won't you write me a letter? Won't you give me a call? Signed, Bewildered.
All right, so we are doing a bit where I ask Mojo some Dear Abby questions. You give the advice, and then we'll see how closely it resembles what Abby says. Dear Mojo, I have 2 sons, 14 and 10. I just got married a year ago. My husband, quote-unquote Kurt, has taken the father role, and he does pretty well, although I think sometimes he goes a little overboard. He and my eldest son, Elijah, worked on a roof together, and because my son made $200 plus a $70 bonus, Kurt got upset because Elijah used his money to buy an Xbox. Kurt thinks Elijah should have brought clothes, toiletries, and other things he needs because we ain't rich. I agree to the extent, but it's gotten out of hand. Now Kurt is so upset that he doesn't want to give Elijah another opportunity to make more money for himself. He really makes a huge stink about how he spent his money. What do I do? Very frustrated mom in Michigan.
If you listen to AM or talk radio, there's a foster kids, adoption kids ad that plays on. It's like a public service announcement. It talks about you not having to be a perfect parent, just be a parent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I commend that ad because for people like myself who is an adoptive father, I'm a father of an adopted daughter. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah, I got you.
Which I never think of that anymore. But but the reality is, I am. I know I'm no perfect father. Far from it. But at least I am a father. At least I am there for her, and she'll always know that. So I guess, Mom, it's great that he's there for the 2 kids, and also kind of it's kind of a hard age to get and meld and through osmosis become that father person.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I commend Kurt for doing that because not a lot of men would step up into that position. Not a lot of men would also, teach this kid trade ideas, things like that. I think this is simply fixed by perspective. I think it's sitting the kid down, explaining what monthly expenses are, explaining what things cost, and making this kid a budget. I think this is simply fixed by just having a conversation. Now, if Kurt's butt hurt because, the kid made as much money or near what he made and he had to be responsible with his money, but the kid became foolish and did whatever he wanted to, then get over it, man. I mean, you're an adult and you're setting the example. So I think all this is fixed through conversation and just communication.
You're right. Abby said, what to do is calmly and privately remind your husband that Elijah is 14 and his decisions are not always mature ones. Then suggest he and Elijah work out an agreement that in the future he earns money, he will save a portion of it, and another portion he'll use for his necessities, and the rest he can use for the items on his discretion. It's called budgeting. It's an important lesson that every teen should learn.
Absolutely.
All right.
Something they do not teach anymore in school.
They do not. That was one of my favorite classes, by the way. I loved personal finance.
I learned how to balance a checkbook. Most kids don't know what a checkbook is.
Yeah, you're right. Well, you got this little debit card thing, and if you throw it at whatever it is, it automatically pays for it.
Because I have to write checks all the time in my business, so I had to use that. So
do you write them in cursive?
I still write in cursive, yeah.
On the checks?
Yeah.
I felt bad because I gave it up, but I just print them now.
Yeah, I like to talk in cursive. As Donnie Baker, the comedian, talks about.
All right, so here's another one. Dear Mojo, I'm unemployed and looking. I'm a 24-year-old male who is the oldest of 4. 3 sisters are 20, who has a part-time job and goes to college, a 14-year-old, and a 12-year-old. We all live at home with our physician parents. That's important that he puts in that for some reason. Our and here's why. Our longtime cleaning lady recently quit. My parents seemingly have no interest in hiring a replacement. My sisters and my father don't help with the chores because they are either too young or they're too busy. At most, they will unload the groceries or assist in cooking a meal. My mother encourages this and does a fair amount of the work herself, but she has a job. So I'm frequently told to handle the dishes, cooking, pickups, drop-offs after school, garbage, and recycling, doing some groceries and miscellaneous errands. I get no sympathy or help. My sisters don't even bother to rinse their plates properly. They just leave them piled in the sink for everyone else. My mother recently yelled at me that I was giving her attitude when I didn't even say a word. The situation is making it harder for me to get a job because I'm too tired all the time, and my parents don't listen to a word that I say. I'm not unaware of the fact that as the oldest, more is expected of me, but I think that this is well past the point of what's expected. What should I do? Overworked in, get this, New York.
How old's this kid?
24.
What's this kid's name? Did he give a name?
He did not. Just overworked in New York.
Okay, Mr. Overworked in New York. You're 24 living at home. Let that sink in a minute. I was 19, married, bought my first house at 19.
Dang.
By the age of 19.
Hey, buddy.
At 21, I was moving on up.
Mm-hmm.
You live at home under your mom and dad's dole.
Mm-hmm.
Buck up, Buttercup. If they need you to do a few chores, do it. I doubt that you're doing maid service 40 hours a week there.
And his mom is picking up a lot of the slack.
You have no reason to be tired. This is what we call this little thing called excuses.
Mm.
You need to kind of man up, buddy. And I don't mean that as in a gender-specific term for people that may get butthurt.
Right. Okay.
This is a term that I'm saying because you need to do it. Not do it for your parents. Do it for yourself. You need to find something that you are passionate about and pursue that as a career. I mean, at 24, you should at least have a couple years, either A, coming out of college or 2 years and set in your career, or if you come out of high school and you didn't go to college, you should at least be 6 years into discovering what type of job path that you want.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not exactly sure what your holdup is, but you obviously do love excuses, though.
Can you get a job in excuses? That'd be good.
There's probably a place hiring, but yeah. Buck up, Buttercup.
Well, in an ironic turn of events, dear Abby kind of agreed with you on that one. Start reviewing your options. The first thing you need to do is understand why you are unemployed. If there are no openings in your field, start considering other kinds of jobs that you may be suited for, i.e. excuse making. If you want to be something more than an unpaid domestic worker, you may have to figure out what it will take for you to live on your own, perhaps with a roommate or two. Even if you don't find the ideal job of employment, it will solve your problem because you'll be too busy working to do the other things you're required to do now. So, hey, that was pretty close. I think dear Abby's getting a little bit of an attitude, by the way.
Yeah, because she's bombarded. I wonder how many thousands of stupid questions she gets a day.
I'm sure a lot.
I mean, a lot of these are just common sense.
You would think.
This one's just a sense of entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously the key to the doctor thing is to kind of lead up to the maid or the cleaning lady. You know what I'm saying? Just
right.
it positions himself in a position of privilege.
Yeah.
Not based off of gender or race. It's just an economic privilege they have a cleaner.
Yeah.
So most people don't have that. So
right.
I mean, I can understand the setup there, but geez.
Come on, y'all. All right, last one. Dear Mojo, my best friend of over 40 years and her boyfriend live several states away from my husband and me. Every winter, she and her friend expect to come to our home for a week. I can no longer do this. Her friend is a nice guy, but after a few days, we can hardly stand it. He talks constantly and knows everything about everything. How can I politely tell my friend that we can't accommodate them anymore without hurting their feelings and maybe ending our friendship? Signed, Weary Out West.
I would suggest doing a once-a-year 5-day getaway in a neutral zone. Mm. That way you have the opportunity to, A, shut the door, because you'll have, like, if you get like a like a duplex or timeshare where they have the two rooms.
Going to bed.
Yeah. Going to bed. I'm going, we're about to have some hello time or whatever. You break away. So, being confined in a household like that, it's hard to get away from each other because you're such a small area of space. But yeah, I would definitely, it depends if the friendship's valuable. If, you're not, there's no rules to say you have to be tied to this friend for life. Yeah. You got to assess what type of friendship it is. Yeah. Is it one of those seasonal relationships where you had a good time and see you bye? Or if it's one of those ones where, they would be there for you through thick and thin. Yeah. Abby said, try this. When your old friend mentions something to come in to visit, you tell her you're not up to having house guests. If she asks why, and she probably will, say you're not as young as you used to be. Scary clowns. Yeah, it's true. Neither am I. Tell her that you can accommodate them for a weekend, but that doesn't work. Say your husband isn't up for the company, which that's also true. However, if neither excuses suffice, you will have to choose between telling your friend the truth and fibbing by saying that you plan to be out of town. So the old "I'm going to be out of town" excuse. Just don't post anything on Facebook that week. We'd like to come to visit. When are you planning on coming? I don't know. We're going to be out of town. All right, so we are going to take a break, and when we come back, Rebecca Petty Moffitt, the daughter of Richard Petty, we'll be back. You're listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast.
No friends at all. Won't you write me a letter? Won't you give me a call? Signed, Bewildered.
Hey guys, it's me, Big Ain. Summer is made for grilling and chilling, and you too can be the baddest mother smoker on the block using our favorite award-winning smoking sauce. Bad Mother Smokers is perfect match for that favorite meat, veggies, or even that secret ingredient in a pot of chili. Check out badmothersmokers.com to place your order, and if you want to be a barbecue pitmaster like Mojo, enter the promo code MOJO for 10% off your order. Visit badmothersmokers.com or the sponsor section of our website at southernfriedphilosophy.com.
He survived his share of crashes, but he never did give up. The tracks in Carolina, where all the pennies ran, what kept the motors running way back then was you, the fan.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. Today on our phone line, we have the honor and privilege of speaking to Rebecca Petty Moffitt.
Can you believe it? On the phone.
And if you recognize that middle name, it's NASCAR legend Richard Petty's daughter. And Rebecca is the director of the Petty Family Foundation. That website can be found at pettyfamilyfoundation.org. And they do some great things in the community, local Charlotte area, but also outside that area. So once again, Rebecca, thank you for coming on our show.
Thank you for having me.
Rebecca, not long ago, we had Jeremy White in studio, and he is the son of the famous NFL Hall of Famer Reggie White. And so I'm always interested in hearing the stories of what it's like growing up with a celebrity parent. So could you maybe tell us a little bit about growing up Richard Petty's daughter?
You know what? That is like the number one question that me and my siblings get all the time.
Sure.
And our answer is we really don't have anything to compare it to. He's the only dad we've ever had. Right. So, we have no comparison.
Yeah, no, and that's similar to what Jeremy said. He's just dad.
Just as we're recording this, I'm going to play this back for my 15-year-old daughter. So you're saying that you probably got butt whoopings and probably grounded.
And we gather at the house for holidays, and we gather at the house for birthdays, just like every other family. And we're at his house for different functions and stuff like that. So it's just everyday normal life to us. That's
right. So that's what I want to tell my daughter is that we're not the only family in the world that actually has punishments for for bad behavior.
So was there a point though where you realized like, wow, my dad is the face of NASCAR, and Like, at what point was that?
Well, we grew up going to the race. So, like, seeing people come up to the car or come up to him and want autographs, want pictures, just like I said, that was our everyday life. And so my mom tried really, really hard to make our lives as normal as possible. We went to public schools. We were in church on Wednesday nights. On Sundays when we were in town, we were in church. And, and we grew up in our community. And it's the same community that my mom and dad grew up in. And my childhood best friend, we were probably middle schoolers, I'm going to say 11, 12, 13 years old. And I took her to Daytona with me. And, it was nothing, like, no big deal. She's just hanging out with us like as if we were at home. And when we were pulling out of the racetrack, people were coming up to the car. People were beating on the car. People were holding up signs and screaming and trying to run beside us. We were actually in a conversion band in the day because there were so many of us. And my friend looked at me and she said, "Oh my gosh, I never realized your dad was this famous." And all of a sudden it sunk in on me. It's like, well, he's not, like, to me, he's just dad,
Yeah.
So my friend, actually, my childhood friend who had been in my house and traveled and done a lot of things with us, when it sunk in with her and she said that to me, all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe he is special.
Wow. So you mentioned, like, going to the track and then people beating on the conversion van and whatnot. Were there any challenges besides that growing up, or you mentioned like everything was just kind of normal going into your normal life?
Well, the biggest challenge is, he was not around for dance recitals, for ball games, for prom or anything like that. But, like I said, my mom held it all together. And so, let's just say it was piano recital weekend. On Wednesday night before he left on that Thursday, like, my family would come into the living room and sit down and I would, like, play the piano for him. So it's like a private performance, Oh,
that's cool.
And even like prom, like I can remember, in high school, like getting dressed like on a Wednesday night and going up and like modeling, And of course, because he's a dad, he always had a comment like, "Where's the rest of it? Are you wearing a turtleneck up underneath that?" Or, So
that's really cool. Yeah.
So that's the only challenge is, you do things where, out in the field or out in the stands is mom and dad, and you just have mom and grandma or, mom and sisters,
Sure.
But my mom, like, tried really, really hard to say, you get these privileges because your daddy does work on the weekends. Like, you're able to take dance lessons, or you're able to take piano lessons, or you're able, there's things you get to do because that's what his job is, and it allows you to do the extracurricular.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good perspective. Let's get into the Petty Family Foundation a little bit. This kind of the organizations you guys support. I know that you guys have had some childhood cancer patients and stuff like that. As a childhood cancer survivor myself, I really appreciate that because a lot of these kids, getting out of that sterile environment of daily treatments and things like that are break the monotony up and kind of give some encouragement is awesome. So I appreciate that on behalf of the survivor community. So, but
thank you.
Just give us a brief overlay. The 10,000-foot view of the Petty Family Foundation and goals and where you guys are going.
Well, basically, our motto is we try to help those who help others. So we do a lot with veterans and a whole lot with the Paralyzed Veterans of America. And then, of course, when you're talking about children with terminally and chronically illnesses, we do a lot to support and help fundraise for Victory Junction. But then we also do a lot of, we give scholarships to every high school in the county that we're in.
Oh, wow.
And, that's pretty big. We like to hand those out. But then we like to support community. And when I say community, not just the community that I'm in, because of NASCAR, we're put into communities all over the U.S., So, we like to support, help that ball team that just needs a little bit of money to make it to the big playoffs all the way down in Florida, or, sponsorships like that. We just like to help people that are helping and encouraging other people.
So basically filling the gap where needed.
Yes.
Awesome. Any of these organizations kind of near and dear to your personal heart, or are you just kind of just going to give us the cover answer that all of them are?
Well, like our personal heart. So, for example, like our personal heart, of course, Victory Junction is very near and dear to our family. And then like we sat down as a family and we said, what do you want to support? Like what is our major things? And my dad is a big supporter of veterans. Mm-hmm. He always says, they're doing what they can do so that we do what we, they're taking care of us so that we can do what we want to do,
sure.
And then my mom was a big supporter of education. So the scholarship that we give out every year, the 6 scholarships we give out, is actually called the Linda Petty Scholarship.
Okay. Awesome. That's a great tribute in her name, in her honor
mm-hmm.
too.
So for some of our listeners that maybe aren't familiar with the Victory Junction, can you tell us a little bit about what that is?
Well, Victory Junction is a camp for terminally and chronically ill children, and it's free to every camper that comes. And so that's the great thing, kids that can't afford to come. But, my favorite thing about camp, and, and I try to get over there a little bit, like every summer while campers are there, is that the kids absolutely love it. But if you're a parent of a child that's sick, you don't think anybody can take care of them, except for you. So camp is so good for the parents too, because these parents, when they drop their kids off, they are scared to death. Sure. And then when they come back at the end of the week and their kids are happy and taken care of, the parents look as forward to it as the kids do, because they realize my kid's going to be okay,
Yeah. Maybe give the parents a little bit of a respite as well.
Well, but also,
it does.
But also I think in the other spectrum is that they get to see their kids actually playing, doing the things they do at camp, like quote unquote normal kids would do, and that kind of gives them some hope at the end, the light at the end of the tunnel too.
Right, and we group like illnesses together. So like you have certain weeks, and so the week, let's just say it's like hemophilia, and so that week all we have is hemophilia kids. Well, this kid's coming who's different from people in their family and different from people in their school, and all of a sudden they get to camp and here's 170 other kids just like them, so they instantly fit in, and it's great because they take from the other kids, how do you deal with this with your siblings? How do you deal with this with your schoolmates? How do you deal with this, in the community? And so they learn stuff from each other as well.
Nice. I was going to say my favorite part of camp was s'mores. So you have a much better.
Everybody loves s'mores.
That's right.
So you mentioned church earlier, that you went to church and stuff on Wednesdays, and I know faith is a big part of the family foundation, but how has it shaped the actual foundation and maybe your life as well, as you figure out how to give out this money?
So church was very important, to us growing up. And so, when you travel on the weekends, you're obviously not going to church on Sunday,
sure.
But we have a ministry that travels with NASCAR. It's called Motor Racing Outreach, and we conduct church every Sunday at the track.
Nice.
So that's a great thing. I mean, they have like it's not childcare, but it's like children's church. So, for example, drivers and crew people and stuff, if their families travel with them to the track, while they go work, the kids can go to the MRO center and, and they're playing and they're interacting, but they're also, being taught faith and religion and all that as well.
Nice. Very cool.
That's definitely a unique ministry they don't tell you about in seminary school.
Right.
Work, I should have signed up for that class.
Yeah. Speaking of NASCAR, so obviously that kind of shaped, your legacy or your father's legacy, and then your legacy and moving things forward. And that's a huge thing here in Charlotte. The NASCAR is the home of NASCAR. So you hear things kind of out and about in the community. What is your take on the current state of NASCAR and maybe the future of where it's going?
I'm just like the general public. I mean, like I'm involved in it, but then I step back and, I've watched this in my lifetime. The sales go down, the sales pick back up. The sales go down, the sales pick back up. And the same with sponsorship. It's hard to come by sponsorship, and then all of a sudden everybody wants to be a part of NASCAR. Yeah. So this is just another ebb in the history of NASCAR, I think. I mean, NASCAR's working to get things straight, and I think that, they're going to implement some new things that will, get us back up to the flow again. But, you just have to be patient. I know they're kind of getting kicked around right now, but sure. it's a cycle. that I've seen my whole life. So
I'm just going to throw this out there. Maybe a right turn every once in a while.
Well, they had that. They called the Roval.
Yeah. So tell us about, there's a Roval that you guys were a part of as well, right?
Right.
So tell us how that's a little bit different than just like a typical NASCAR race.
Well, I think it was actually really good for the sport myself. Just like I said, sometimes I step back as a spectator, but I think a lot of people, like just your general public that either watches it on TV or just comes for entertainment, I think that they were looking forward to it because it was something different. Yeah. We race Charlotte twice a year, so, you can come in May there's 2 races in May, or you can come back in October, but you're kind of seeing the same thing, so they threw in something different that brought the crowd back from the spring. It brought them back, and it's like they want to come back and see what's going on.
Very cool. Yeah.
I think they do a throwback day and just go back to the booze running with cops chasing them.
Yeah. Well, they do a throwback at Darlington every year. And so that's fun. I think the fans look forward to that too, because, most drivers pick – of course, our driver picks a throwback scheme of my dad's, but some of the newer drivers that don't have somebody to throw back on will go back and look at like a Kel Yarber or a Holly Farms car or a Junior Johnson car, and they pick that paint scheme and run it. So
cool.
It's pretty cool. The fans like it, I can tell you this: the guys like it too. The crew members and the drivers, they like it too.
That's cool.
Has anybody done the Dukes of Hazzard?
Not that I know of.
That would be kind of cool.
But we'll see what happens Darlington in 2019.
That's right.
It might happen.
If we could get our Southern Pride Philosophy sticker, on that car, that would be amazing.
I hate to ask how much that is.
So tell us the future of the Petty Foundation. Do you guys have anything different that you guys are looking at? Or are you going to keep doing the amazing I almost kind of want to call it ministry that you guys are doing, but the charities that you guys are doing, anything new that's coming out?
Well, I mean, of course we want to grow every year. I mean, that's the whole purpose. And, like a couple years ago, we threw in another event to try and raise money. So we're going to try and do that like over the years, a big car show. This was our second year this year doing a car show that, that benefits. So that's the second year. So, you have to be into it a couple of years before you're like, is it worth doing it, or do we need to come up with something new? But, we're looking to grow. Every year we're trying to do more and more and more. This year we reached, in this year alone, we gave out over $100,000. So we were pretty excited about that.
Wow.
Cool.
That's great.
That's awesome.
And so if our listeners wanted to connect with you guys and then partner with you, how would they do that?
Well, I think you gave our website.
Yep. So they can go to the website and find out all your information there?
They can go to the website and even the museum, because the foundation is ran out of the same location that the Petty Museum's ran out of.
Okay.
So you could go to the Petty Museum and get our numbers. It's on there, and just call, ask for me, or, just talk to whoever answers the phone, and they can put you in touch with the right person.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining. I know your time is precious, and I don't want to keep you, so thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you guys for having me.
All right. Thank you so much.